Folks, we wear black in memory of the Calgary Flames 2024-2025 season, but we wear Maple Leafs because the Leafs, they clinch the Atlantic Division, getting the first seed in the division. They played the Ottawa Senators Battle of Ontario first round of the playoffs. There is a lot to be excited for if you are a Leafs fan, a lot to be scared of because the Senators are a very good team, but it is exciting. This is the first time that they have won the Atlantic Division technically. They have won the division before, but that was in the COVID season, and that doesn't count. And then they won it. This is only the third time in the expansion era. I don't know which one it is. But yeah, only the third time in the expansion era, which is like 1967 to 1980 since they've won the division. So this is huge for the Leafs to get home ice advantage and the division title and Battle of Ontario. Let's go, baby. The Leafs clinched the division today with a 4-0 win over the Buffalo Sabres today. The Leafs, they also had Matthews hitting 400 career goals. They also had Marner reaching 100 and then 101 points on the season. First time ever hitting 100 points for the Mitchie Marner, and that means his price just goes up and up and up and up. So who knows if the Leafs can even afford the guy at the end of the year, but the Leafs, with this win over the Sabres, clinched the division. The Flames, like we just said, were wearing black in memoriam in honor of their season. They brought it to game 81. They fought tooth and nail all season long to stay in the playoff picture. They did win this game in a shootout, though, 5-4 against Vegas, but it was too little too late. Minnesota and St. Louis both won, knocking them out of the playoffs no matter what. The Flames, they showed hold their head high. They did stay in the picture all season long. They had their ups, they had their downs, but at the end of the day, they have a lot to be excited for. Yes, a lot of people will complain that they wasted their top 10 draft pick, but you have a Vezina caliber goalie in Dustin Wolf, and it's just wild that you have this guy ready to come into the league right now and just perform at this high level. So there is lots to be excited for, but next year, I'm kind of thinking you tank for Gavin McKenna, and he used to be a Flames fan, so it's something to consider. Up next, we got the Devils taking on the Bruins. The Devils, they end up winning this game 5-4 in overtime over the Bruins. The Devils, they need this win as a confidence booster heading into the playoffs, as they have been very, not weak, but very slumpy, very slouchy lately in the past couple games. They haven't been looking too sharp at all. One of the three games that I predicted incorrectly in my predictions earlier today was the Senators taking on the Chicago Blackhawks. I thought it made sense for me to pick the Senators because the Blackhawks, they've been crap all year. The Senators, they're trying to keep momentum going heading into the first round playoff series against the Maple Leafs. It did go into overtime. They did make it go into overtime. It was 4-3, so not a big deal for Sens fans. The Blue Jackets keep their season alive mathematically. Habs fans, I had a couple text me tonight, including my cousin, and they are sweating buckets. If the Habs do not win in regulation, if they lose in regulation tomorrow, it is all up for grabs Thursday night, and it will be must-watch television. I kind of hope it wins just to make Montreal Canadiens fans sweat just a little bit more, but the Blue Jackets, they do win this game against the Flyers 3-0. Adam Fantilli getting a goal in this game. He was in Toronto the night before burying his grandfather, and apparently his grandfather's favorite team was the Flyers, so him scoring the next day after his grandfather's funeral against the Flyers is a very cool thing. Another first-round playoff matchup that we know that has been confirmed, the Florida Battle. We have the Battle of Ontario with the Leafs and the Senators. We have the Battle of Florida with the Tampa Bay Lightning and the Florida Panthers. They absolutely hate each other. They do not like each other whatsoever. They were fighting at the end of the game. They were throwing fists and they were hitting each other like crazy all game. It is a joy to see that they will kick the snot out of each other in the first round. Tampa Bay or Florida, we will see you. The Leafs will see you in round 2. So I don't care who you are, just kick the crap out of each other. The Lightning, they win 5-1 against the Panthers tonight. So it doesn't really matter due to standings because the Lightning will have home ice advantage, but it is fun to see them kick the crap out of each other. Another one that I got right in my predictions today, the Capitals taking on the Islanders. The Capitals, they win 3-1. This is pretty much a nothing burger game. Nothing really too much to say. Yeah. Two of the three games that I predicted incorrectly were extremely biased. If I was using my brain, I would not have gone the way that I did. I predicted the Blues to lose. I predicted the Wild to lose. They both won. The Blues, they dominated Utah all night long. They win 6-1. The Wild, They scored with like 20 or so seconds left in the third period to send the game into overtime against the Ducks. And then they won in overtime. Marc-Andre Fleury got to play in overtime once they realized that once the game went into overtime, they had clinched playoffs. So they let Marc-Andre Fleury come into the net, which is probably going to be his last NHL start, which is a very, very, very cool thing that the Wild did for him. He even picks up the win in the overtime period. The Wild beat the Ducks 3-2. The last game of the evening is not the San Jose Sharks, the LA Kings. I don't know where that came from. The LA Kings taking on the Seattle Kraken. The Kings were dominating the game all game long, but the Kraken, they kind of sneaked in a little bit later in the game. It ended up being 6-5, but it was not a 6-5 type game. The Kings did have control of this game for majority of the time. There's the quick little recap of what happened in the NHL today. Let me know how you did in your predictions. I went 7 for 10, 70%, not bad. I could have easily gone 9 for 10 if I used my brain, not my stupid heart. But it was a good night overall. Good night of hockey. Lots of things happened. The Leafs, they clinched the division. The Flames, they're officially out of the playoffs, but it was not for a lack of effort. The Wild and Blues both clinched both wildcard spots. So lots to talk about. Lots to happen. 2 days left in the regular season. What will happen? Montreal, Columbus are the two teams to keep an eye on. Talk to you later tomorrow during predictions. Have a great night. Thanks for watching.